How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading while the price is going up or down. Over on Dixie for the daily, we could have a double bottom forming from our double bottom. Remember, we had the smaller double bottom that brought us toward this neckline. Then we got our break forward, and we did continue toward further break up. Now, if we draw a neckline here, we could be approaching a new neckline that could give us a further break up. And remember, Dixie is inverse of crypto. So if we're going to see continued bullish momentum past this zone, we could end up seeing Bitcoin sell off pretty drastically, as I don't think we've been in this 108 area for quite some time. It's been about a year, so we could see some corrective action there. So over on the daily, we did invalidate our rising channel. We did push forward. We will show the pattern on the lower time frames, but again, that's why you want to watch for confirmations on your patterns. So Stochastic does want to push up, RSI is gaining strength. That momentum is pushing forward. VWAP is trying to bounce off that neutral, that yellow wave. So if it can continue forward, our momentum blue wave will continue higher, and we can see that money flow remain in the green and continue to push us up as we have buying pressure. So over on this 1 hour, you can see we did retest the top. We did break out. We did not retest our channel, and we just ran up. So there wasn't much of a retest that you could have capitalized on. You could have saw this little bit of a retracement, tried to get in on this green candle and tried to get a scalp trade, but trying to get a little 1% move is probably going to wreck you more than you're going to benefit from it. So we will delete this as this pattern has been invalidated. Remember, no pattern is 100%. That's why you want to wait for confirmations. Usually that's why you wait for your retests and stuff. Our VWAP does have lower lows here, so we do have a bearish trend with lower highs. That is bringing momentum and money flow lower. If that continues, price action will continue to reject. Stochastic does want to push forward, but that RSI is pretty flat. So if that Stochastic does not get above the 30 and hold soon, we will see RSI start to bring price lower, and that could invalidate our double top possibility, as we have two rejections from the neckline, and we wanted to break through on that second touch to the neckline. You would expect that rejection, then an attempted bounce forward, and then at that attempted bounce forward, we got rejected, and now we have consolidation. So I would watch for lower highs with lower lows. If that does happen, it could be positive for crypto and push up, as Dixie would continue to sell off and get a bit of a rejection there. Over on Bitcoin dominance, we are still pushing up overall, continuing our trend. So we may try to invalidate this channel, as we have had three touches to the bottom. And usually after the third touch to the bottom, or around that third touch to the bottom, that's where you do get your breakdown. And we did not get our breakdown. We do have a bullish channel here with higher highs and higher lows, so I would watch that could be positive. Stochastic does want to weaken. RSI wants to push up. Our VWAP is trying to break neutral, and money flow is trying to hold bullish, so we do look positive. Remember, this means Bitcoin could run against our altcoins, so we could see altcoins continue to bleed, as total did decrease 1%. And much of our altcoins, like DHG, went up, but many of our altcoins did sell off. So over on the 1 hour, we are continuing our rejection. This may be that confirmation candle. You could see we pushed out of our manipulation zone. We were unable to hold above that kind of consolidation manipulation area, and we did end up pulling back. This could be a long lower shadow candle though, so if we do get a green candle, I would exercise caution if you're in any kind of a short. Our Stochastic does want to pull back. RSI is pushing down. Momentum is running with the red dot. VWAP does have lower highs and lower lows, and money flow does want to pull back. So I would exercise caution here. We could see further altcoin sell off. Remember, most of your altcoins are going to follow total. So total selling off, likely the coin you're holding will as well. And obviously, there's cases like DAG where that doesn't always happen, but that's the general rule of thumb. That's why we cover total. So over on the 1 hour, we do have lower highs and lower lows. This is a bit of a bearish trend. We did try to break down, and we are trying to bounce. This could be an inverted head and shoulders, where this is a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder, and we could have an attempt to break forward. So if we break that purple EMA and hold, we may make a run, I'd say, toward our top of our golden pocket. And then if we can break that and hold, we could see further bullish momentum. So this could have just been one big correction, and we could be bouncing and trying to invalidate that double top. Watch this 1 hour very close. Our VWAP does have higher highs. We are trying to make higher lows, so that is positive. Our momentum is pushing forward. Money flow wants to gain strength, so we do look like we could make a run forward. Watch that EMA close. Watch the next couple candles close. So over on Bitcoin futures for the daily, we did reject the top of our channel. We did warn of that. We did pull back toward that 65.5, and we are kind of indecisive with tomorrow's candle. But yes, today's candle, we do have that attempted breakdown, but we are seeing a little bit of resilience. This could be positive. We could be meeting some local support. And if we make a higher low here, we could make a higher low, push forward, get higher high, invalidate our rising channel, and continue forward. Remember, this rising channel is not very confirmed yet. We do technically have two touches to the bottom and the top, but usually you do want to watch for that third because you can invalidate your pattern. Our stochastic does want to pull back. RSI is pulling back. Momentum is rounding. That VWAP does want to break down, and money flow is kind of fluctuating. It is slightly green. So if that VWAP can break above and hold on lower time frames, we could make a decent bounce here. Over on the 1 hour, we do have a gap to the downside. Again, exercise caution. Remember, there is a probability, 80%, that we would pull back, fill that gap, and then try to continue forward. We do also have those lower gaps. So if we do pull back here, we could make a lower high, and then we could follow that with a lower low, breaking the 65.5. And if we see a break of the 65.5 and that 300 EMA and hold, then we will see that cascade effect down toward those lower gaps. Our stochastic does want to round. RSI is starting to lose steam, so watch that stochastic. If it breaks down, RSI will lead price lower. VWAP is starting to round away with that yellow wave after breaking bullish, so watch that close. If that VWAP continues to round away, our momentum, that blue wave, after breaking bullish, could start to round as well and then push down. As those both push down, remember, money flow would remain in the red, showing selling pressure, and if that money flow does reject here, we would not see those higher time frames gain strength, and they would start to pull back as well, deepening into the red. So over on the 2 hour, money flow is red, 4 hour, money flow is green. Remember, when it's on the 1, 2, and 4 hour, you do typically see a very sharp correction down. We haven't been covering the 2 and 4 hour, but they are important time frames to watch. We just don't want to bore you with a bunch of the same thing on the same coin. That way it's a little easier for you. So over on Bitcoin for the daily, we did have that descending channel, but we invalidated. We did get our full breakdown for our double top though, so we will delete we'll leave our double top right now. It may be important. Stochastic does want to pull back. RSI is starting to weaken. Our momentum is rounding. VWAP did break bearish. Money flow is starting to push down. So if that VWAP continues to drop, momentum will continue lower, and money flow could go from green into the red, and we could see a further sell-off. So watch the 1 hour very close here. We are trying to hold that 300 EMA, and much like the total, this could be an inverted head and shoulders here. So this could be our shoulder, a head, and then a shoulder, and that would give you an attempted breakout. That's what this tool here is. So you would have this shoulder, your head, and then a little short shoulder, and then that neckline to your head would be where you'd measure for your breakdown or break up, and then you would take that line and apply it forward to give you a break from your neckline. Or so once we push forward, we could see a retest of our double bottom or double top. Sorry, getting that confused here. That double top is what we broke from, so we will leave the double top at this point. We will delete the breakdown bars for the double top, but we are going to leave the resistance area because there is a probability that we would come back to revisit that. We will also delete this rising channel or descending channel, but this descending channel does show you why confirmations are important. We did break into our descending channel. You would have expected a bounce off the EMA and a continuation forward, but we did end up bleeding away. So that's why you want to watch for confirmations like we have currently trying to go right here. We do have a bounce off the 300 EMA with that green candle, and then the next candle is green. If we see another green candle, it's likely we could see our break forward from there. That VWAP is starting to pull back. Momentum does want to round. Money flow does want to push forward. So if that VWAP stays bullish, we have higher highs with higher lows. Then momentum can continue higher. Money flow can continue to gain strength, and that would start to push those higher time frames up. Again, keep in mind that neckline, because if we do reject it, then we could end up breaking away yet. That could give us a lower high. Then we could make lower lows that could end up bleeding us away. So that's why we will leave it until we break and hold above it and continue forward from it. So over on graph for the daily, again, if you want any coin cover, drop in the chat. But over on graph for the daily, we did break that 16,316. We did warn against this. This could be a double top, and we could see some further losses. Watch for a break of that 15,363. That would be where your neckline would likely be. and then you would measure from your top down to your neckline. I'm doing it a little short. Again, you don't want to go for the full breakup or full breakdown on any pattern because you're not likely going to get there. This could break that 14,316. Our stochastic does want to pull back. RSI is selling off. Momentum is rounding with a double red dot. VWAP is breaking down with the lower low after getting lower highs. So we do have bearish momentum, bringing that money flow down. So I would keep an eye on lower time frames. If they continue in the red, we could continue to bleed here. Over on the 1 hour, we do have lower highs with lower lows. Right now, they do not connect, so that is a little sketchy. We will get to Tron for you, John, in a minute. Stochastic does want to round. RSI is pushing forward. VWAP does have higher highs with a higher low, so this does look positive. Momentum is gaining strength, and money flow does want to push up. So if that VWAP does continue our bullish trend here, momentum can continue further. Money flow will go into the green, and after several hours of that, we could strengthen higher time frames and continue to push up. Just keep in mind that we do have that bearish possibility on that higher time frame. Did not mean to go to the weekly. So over on Ankr for the daily, we will get to Tron after Algo. So over on Ankr for the daily, we are rejecting that 2883, and we did break our point control. If we continue to see red candles from here, it's likely we would push to the value area low of our fixed range volume profile. Remember, click the master in the link there. Visit our series if you don't know what this is. We cover it in a 5-minute video. There's like 20 videos, doesn't take long. Stochastic does want to pull back. RSI is selling off. Momentum is rounding down. VWAP does want to break down, and money flow is breaking into the red. So this does look like we could continue lower. Is it good long term? I would have to look at Tron. Overall price action, I think, is good long term as long as we can continue after filling those lower gaps. So we do have those lower gaps on Bitcoin, and if we do end up losing our zones, we could end up filling those like we mentioned toward the beginning of the video. Our stochastic does want to round away. RSI is pulling back. VWAP does have higher highs and higher lows. I likely think a lot of this price manipulation could continue until elections is over as well, because we have a lot of indecision with that as well. Momentum does want to push forward. Our money flow does want to gain strength, so this does look positive on the 1 hour. We are pulling back to fill a gap, so if we make a strong bounce forward from here and break that 2673, then we could make an attempt to push to our 300 EMA and get above our EMA band to continue forward. But I would watch that VWAP. That VWAP is rounding away, but we do have a bullish trend, so that is positive. Over on XRP for the daily, we did attempt to break out of our channel like we warned about. Stochastic is breaking down, RSI is pulling back, VWAP is selling off, momentum is rounding. So I would exercise caution. If that VWAP continues to get lower highs and lower lows, momentum will break down, money flow will remain in the red, and we will continue to sell off. So we're quite not in the clear yet, unless slower time frames can break green and hold here. Over on the 1 hour, we could make a inverted head and shoulders possibly, so watch for a bounce if we pull back toward our bottom of this channel again. Stochastic does want to round away, RSI is pushing forward, VWAP wants to gain strength. Our momentum is pushing forward with that VWAP gaining that bullish momentum, and money flow is rounding forward, so the 1 hour does look like we are picking up steam. Again, just watch that support. If we do try to pull back, make that inverted head and shoulders, if we can get a bounce after pulling back, then that's where we could see that push to 54, attempt to get back above our EMA band, and then try to continue forward from there. So over on ALGO, then we'll get to Tron, and if there's any other requests, otherwise we'll get to DAG after Tron. So over on ALGO for the daily, we do have that rejection of our 1350. We did push to the bottom of our channel, so watch us very close as we are rejecting our EMA band as well. Our stochastic is dropping away, RSI is pulling back, VWAP is pushing down, momentum is rounding with a red dot, so watch that VWAP close. If it continues to favor bearish here, money flow will remain in the red, and we will have that potential to see our full breakdown toward that 1032 area. So over on the 1 hour, we did reject our 300 EMA. We did try to retest it, and then we got 2 red candles in a row and then spilled over. That's why confirmations and rejections are important to watch for. Stochastic does want to round away. RSI is pushing up despite that, so if that stochastic can stay above 30, RSI could try to lead price higher. We could have a goofy head and shoulders here too, maybe trying to mirror everything else. Momentum does want to push forward, money flow wants to push up, and that VWAP does have a pretty decent bullish trend going, so we do look decent there. So Tron is up next. So we will do Tron, Tether, and KuCoin. That's our only option, it looks like, and then we will hop to the daily. So we do have a bit of a consolidation zone, it does look like, on this daily. This consolidation zone, after a break forward, does give you a bit of a bull flag possibility. So that could be how you would want to draw it. Then you would measure from your bottom toward the top. That would give you your breakup pole, and you would apply that pole forward. Remember, this would depend on the rest of the market pushing forward, most likely, but Tron could continue to do its own thing. We are seeing some gains here against the rest of the market. Not very much, but is some gains. So we do have the possibility to push to about 1960 with this bull flag possibility. Again, watch as we approach for the third time. As we approach for the third time, usually that's when you want to see a break up. You could also try to draw like a really big rising triangle here. So a rising triangle would also push you forward. It would be a little bit shorter of a push forward, maybe somewhere around this 1778. The stochastic does want to push forward. We do have that blue above orange. That's a bullish cross, so that is good. Our VWAP is pushing forward above that neutral. Money flow does want to break, so if that VWAP can stay bullish on lower time frames, we could see a break forward. Again, watch for a breakout, then a retest of our pattern, and a bounce forward. That's important because right here we got a breakout, we got rejection right away. Right here, got breakout, did not get confirmation, then rejected. So that's why your bounce and continuation is important to watch for if you're trading short term. So over on the 1 hour here, we are staying above the 300 EMA. Had to really zoom in there. So we are staying above the 300 EMA. We are above our EMA band too, so that is very positive. VWAP has a bullish trend with higher highs and higher lows. Momentum does want to break neutral, and money flow is in the green. So this is very positive. We do have higher highs with higher lows, and I can't draw a rising channel here, so that does have the potential to continue us forward. I would just warn against these gaps here on the 1 hour. We have a gap at that 1566. We did fill this other gap, so I would watch that 1566 gap. The gaps have an 80% likelihood to fill. They don't have to fill, just like patterns. They do have a probability. Most of them are 70-80%, but it's not a guarantee. There's no crystal ball, so we will jump to DAG now. So over on DAG, did not mean to go to Dixie. So over on DAG, we are getting an early break forward away from this pattern. So we are just seeing manipulation moves. We're whipping around. That's why we said watch for confirmations, watch very close. We can leave this just to see how it played out on lower time frames. Stochastic does want to round away. That's also why I wouldn't trade this pattern before you get toward the tip, because you do have the chance of invalidating that pattern. VWAP is overall holding bullish, but we do have the potential for a lower high despite price pushing up. We did also push up to our 300 EMA and we got rejected, so I would watch very closely here. Our money flow is still in the red, so I would exercise caution. Thank you to John. I appreciate you watching. God bless you and your family as well. So over on the 1 hour here, we did see a break of this channel. So we tried to reject the top, then you saw a green candle next. That's why confirmation's important. That green candle could told you we would have bullish momentum brewing. Then we had indecision with that indecisive candle, that doji candle. Then we continued to tear up. So you could have gotten a little decent scalp on here. Obviously, you wouldn't get the full move. Don't count on getting the full move. If you're going to try to get the full move all the time, you're going to get wrecked more often than not. It's better to get a few percent every day than 1 big percent all the time. Stochastic does want to round away. RSI is pushing down. Momentum is rounding. VWAP is holding bullish, so this is positive, and our money flow is gaining strength. So if that VWAP can continue our bullish trend, momentum will bring money flow higher, and we could reverse that bearish money flow. That money flow is very peculiar because we did push up while that VWAP is holding bullish. That VWAP is in a bit of a bullish trend, but we were seeing some bearish favor, so I would still keep an eye on this because of that money flow being in the red. With our pump forward, we could see some sort of bearish momentum. We could make bearish divergence here. Our momentum waves are kind of consistent while price continues to gain. That would be a technical bearish divergence there. Remember, bearish divergence tends to spill you away, drop you down. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I appreciate all of you. Have a great night.